What's good, everybody? Welcome to the closing beat. So that is the name that we chose. As you can see, we've dressed up the place a little bit, both the wall back here with some extra things, as well as what you're seeing on the screen. Don't move, right? Like, stay perfectly still, because one wrong move and this whole thing will crash. We have tested this so many times. It's incredible. I am so thankful to you guys for putting up your suggestions. The winner has already been notified. The package is on the way. The person happened to be out of the country, so that kind of backfired on me a little bit. Very costly to ship a box overseas, but I appreciate it nonetheless. We spent a long time sort of agonizing over the great suggestions you guys had, so I really appreciate it. This will be our new stock market update every day. If you notice on the screen, you can see a lot of information. I hope you keep an eye on some of that. We'll go over it as well, but also for our existing clients off there to the side, you see any updates that we have for you guys. We will always update you there. If you're not a client of jazzWealth, look, we want to be the financial advisor for the little people that can't work with the big financial advisors. We think you need the help. We are betting on you guys for our business model, really. So those of you that can't walk into JP Morgan, you can't walk into Morgan Stanley, you can walk over to jazzWealth, right? They don't make enough money on you to afford one light to stay on for the day. Thankfully, we only have a few lights here and they're all LEDs, so we're keeping our costs down. Check us out at jazzwealth.com. Also, the events tab and the portfolios tab. We are, I believe, the only financial advisor that posts their performance. We got that approved. So you could see how our portfolios perform, of course, and we update that every Saturday afternoon. As an update, this Friday, we will not be doing the closing beat. I'll be traveling to San Antonio for a drum corps show. If you happen to be at the Alamo Dome or somewhere nearby and you want to say hi, or even in Houston, because I believe I'm stopping there first, feel free to stop by and say hi. Really appreciate all the help so much. Thank you guys so much, but you're here to see the stock market update, so let's dive in. We have talked previously about when the Dow is up 100 points. You should see that the S&P is somewhere around 9, 10, or 11 points. They usually are they're that correlated. Well, any day that you see that the Dow is up 44 like it was today, but the S&P is down 2, you know something's wrong. Something either outperformed, something held them back, and so it means you need to do a little bit more research. Thankfully for you, we're here to do a little more research. Let's go on over to the charts. Yeah, it worked on the first try. Okay, so here's the chart of the Dow, okay? And we're going to just kind of zoom in a little bit for you guys. It has been in this breathing in, breathing out moment. Breathing in, breathing out. And you can see that on the charts just real easily. Breathing in, breathing out, breathing in, breathing out, and so on. Now, today the Dow was up 44. That was your financials. That's what led the way today. You had Bank of America. There you go. You had Bank of America higher on the day. They made 63 cents a share. Revenue came in better than expected. Here's the kicker. If you follow along, we talked about Wells Fargo saying some nonsense the other day when they reported their earnings. Bank of America said loan growth is one of the reasons why we did so well. Lower expenses, lower tax rate, customers are coming to us. They were very positive about that, which just proves Wells Fargo was trying to fill you full of a bunch of you know what the other day when they said, no, we're focusing on our risk. We're focusing on some different things. We know now that is not true. Well, Bank of America was the supporter in the Dow, and that's why you had the Dow up so much today. If you go over to the banking sector, of course, they did well too. This is a change, a big change from last earnings. If you followed along last earnings season, the banks reported their earnings and people sold into it. The banks had great earnings. JP Morgan, all these people had great trading profits. They had lots of good things to say, but people decided to sell into it. So you can see that overall, the banking sector has underperformed. The stock market will not move to new highs, and specifically, I should say, the S&P 500 will not move to new highs if we do not have the banks going along with it. So could this be a change in the banks? We'll see if we look around. You got other names, You got other names that were following along today. JP Morgan up 4%, Goldman Sachs up 2.2%. Actually, Goldman Sachs announced a new CEO today, so a little bit of news helping Goldman Sachs out of that as well. That has been a severe underperformer. And look, here's how you can tell real quick. You can see the charts on the screen. We're going to improve all this, by the way. This is just a starting point, so we'll get better. But you can see Goldman Sachs on the screen. Now take a look at the overall stock market. They're moving in opposite directions, right? So if we could get Goldman Sachs, we could get the banks to come in and help out, that would really, really help move this market higher. I don't know if it's going to happen yet, but we'll keep an eye on it. Boy, we've got a lot to cover here today. So the Nasdaq 100 ended up losing 20 points on the day, and that's kind of okay, right? You don't really mind if you're holding the Nasdaq. If you take a look at that performance, like a friggin' rocket ship lately, you don't mind if it takes a couple days off. It's like running straight up a hill. You're not going to run straight up that hill forever. You're going to stop, take a breath. You're going to need to catch yourself. You're going to get some water, whatever it may be. And so for the Nasdaq to take the day off, not a problem. I should point out that Amazon, after the close here, down about 1.5%, I guess. Amazon Prime Day, not off to a good start. The website has busted. I know what that's like, man. I'm not going to pick on them because I know what that's like when things go down and they don't work. So in the middle of the most media-focused, where the world has their attention on Amazon, they're struggling a little bit. So after hours, it's down as well. You also have Netflix lower. They reported earnings after the close here, and the subscriber count, right? The subscriber count's a big deal for Netflix. They did not come close to their subscriber count, meaning the new subscribers that they added, they missed it by a mile. So the stock's down $53 after the close. $53. That's incredible. If you pay close attention, let me see if I can pull it up without breaking anything here. If you pay close attention to this trend line that all the traders like to use, you'll notice, there we go, let's see if I can get it to stop there. You'll notice that the price has stopped right at that trend line. It was at 400, it's right around 350 right now, and that is support. So if you're a technical trader, everybody says that's as far as I want to sell it. That might be an area to buy for them. We'll see. I don't expect anything to happen until the conference call, which is about an hour from now. Okay, here's the deal. On the S&P 500, the bar has been set pretty high. Analysts expect 20% earnings growth as compared to 24% last quarter. And so far, got some stats for you. We have 6% of the S&P 500 has reported earnings. So we're expecting 100% to show an average of 20% growth. We only have 6%, so the excitement is just getting started. And of the 6%, 20.1% earnings growth. So far, we're in line, right? What analysts are looking for was good, and that'll continue to help support the market, so not a problem there. We talked about we'll keep you posted on those numbers, by the way. The banking sector, we talked about that doing well, had a nice day today, just about 2% on the day. Bank of America and all those names we just mentioned looking good. Year-to-date financials are still down by about 3%. So that shows stock market's moving. It's trying to get going. The banks won't participate. We got tech, right? We need banks and tech. They're participating. If banks could just tick with the tech stocks, then everything would be fine. We'd be looking pretty good. All right, if we look at the energy sector, that's going to be your weaker sector today, down about energy was down 1.15%, oil down 4%, okay? So that was the weak one today. The Treasury announced, remember before, about a week and a half ago, they said, look, we don't want anybody importing Iranian oil, period. We just tell the world what we want, right? They said, we don't want anybody importing that oil. Today, they said, we may give some waivers for some of you to be able to import that oil. And so that sent the price of oil down. Also, Libya has been a strong focus there. Libya is back on track officially. So they're fully exporting. Their port is up and running. So no real concerns there anymore for them. We'll go over a few different stocks here. You got Boeing on the day. Boeing a little bit higher. One of the most popular air shows is going on right now. It's called the Farnborough Air Show. Excuse me. And a lot of the airlines have been announcing deals, right? There was the deal the other day with Airbus getting a deal from Southwest or JetBlue or somebody, ordered a bunch of more jets. Today, Boeing announced that DHL has ordered 14 more of their cargo jets. That's a $14.7 billion sale. So if you're that sales guy and you operate on commission, you're doing pretty well at that air show. So we'll keep up with that. Other than that, we covered it. You know, we got Amazon down with the news, the website being down. UPS was upgraded today. FedEx was downgraded, so a little bit of a tug of war there. Wells Fargo was upgraded for some reason. I don't get that. But if you follow the charts on that one, that one's really improving off of those lows. looking very, very strong. Take a look at the last 2 days worth of candlesticks. If you're one of our customers, you know what these things are. I want you to keep an eye on those last two. Those were pretty interesting to me. JB Hunt, a transportation company, they did well. The stock started higher, just a little bit of weakness going into the day. It only closed down a little bit. We'll see where that goes. Retail sales, if you follow that sort of thing, they came out today. They rose 0.5%. Everybody was expecting 0.5%. Nothing too interesting there. Bitcoin. Bitcoin finished up 8%. So here we go. People are going to start calling me about Bitcoin again. Bitcoin is up 8%. BlackRock, if you follow BlackRock, they are the elephant in the room, basically, and they said we're going to start looking into Bitcoin, of course, because it's trading at a discount, so they're looking into the idea of how they can work with it. Big boon for Bitcoin. We'll see how that goes in the future. So that's really all I have for you for today. Loving the new look. Thank you guys so much for helping out with that. Really, really, really appreciate it. You know, if there's anything I can do for you you know, as far as your accounts go, if you're one of our customers, you know where to find me, of course. And we will be back again tomorrow. The Doe Show at 1 o'clock. This week, a lot of great topics. We're not just going to focus on investing. We're going to cover a bunch of different stuff this week on the Doe Show. So tune in live at 1 o'clock on YouTube. If you can't make it, that's cool. Just watch the recording. I know most of you do anyways. Let me know what you think about the wall. Got a nice little wall adjustment here, as well as the new look. We'll keep on improving. Thank you guys so much. We'll see you then.
Why should you choose jazzWealth as your retirement or long-term investing service? Our portfolios are managed by us, not some faceless mutual fund manager. Our private classes will teach you everything about investing and getting your dough straight. Best of all, our fiduciary standard means your best interest comes before ours.